with what we're going to be talking about today, which is a match, 2 matches in fact, entirely unrelated. One is Rollerball Rocco versus Sammy Lee from Britain in 1981, and the other I just thought I'd tack on, which is one between 2 famous masked wrestlers who are Tiger Mask and Black Tiger in Japan in 1982. Weird thing to lump them together, I know. They have nothing in. I don't know whether we're supposed to know who Black Tiger is. I feel bad about revealing it.
Sort of revealing it after his death.
Yeah, I never know with masked wrestlers, because it wasn't like he got unmasked in the ring, and so Black Tiger's he's Marc Rocco. He's Marc Rocco, Pete.
It's Marc Rocco. Look, if wrestling can't take care of its own...
And Tiger Mask is Sammy Lee. Sammy Lee. It's the same match, Pete. It's the same match, but they're two different men.
Match. Oh, no.
Oh, can you believe it? But yeah, let's have a look at the first match. The first match is a British one on World of Sport back in 4th of April, 1981. You get Max Crabtree opens it in his glittery top, and he says, he just goes, "Let battle commence." He says,
yeah. Why is he so happy about things? I don't know.
I think he feels ridiculous saying "let battle commence." I think he says it and just goes absolutely stupid. And out they come. Out comes Sammy Lee, a very nice clean boy. Sammy Lee. They have him in a little sort of a Robin Hood-esque green felt jacket, and it's got a leather patch on the back. He's not all cuddly, is he? There's a side to him, a man side to him.
He's got a bit of a body as for that sort of time, really. It's quite interesting.
He does. Yeah, you do get the impression that Sammy Lee is coming over and actually, oddly, is making all the British people look a bit out of shape. Mick McMahon was very keen to get working with Sammy Lee. He had a number of programs with him, and Mick McMahon was the booker, and he was very aware that I think by getting into the ring, Sammy Lee, would be great in the ring. He looked fantastic, and in some way that would rub off on 57-year-old Mick.
Muscular.
Oh, I like the match with the 2 young muscular men, people would say. I think Mick had a feeling of that, but
with the lovely black hair.
And then out comes Rocco, and he comes out to proper jeers, and he's wearing his lovely tailor-made embroidered silk jacket with a big dragon on the word Rollerball on it, obviously from a trip to the Far East, maybe for 2 weeks. And when he takes it off, he's wearing a singlet, which is actually the European Union flag. It's blue.
Yeah.
And it's got
I was trying to figure out what had happened to the EU that year. Greece joined the EU in 1981, so maybe looking like, I mean, you could probably say he did have a bit of a Greek look to him. Maybe he was just very pro-Greece joining the EU.
I wondered about it. I was like, are you a heel? And are you desperately sort of trying to pick up on the fact that a lot of working class people might have thought like membership of the EU was expensive and, confusing. And I think he just liked the pattern. He
just saw the flag and went, ooh, nice.
Or he was like, you know what? Where's he from? He's from where my wife's from. I'll do her voice. Here we go.
She'll love that. Do it really loud.
That's the only way she does it, Pete. I'm gonna give it a go. Maybe he thought to himself. He said, "You know what?
Don't do it like that. He does not sound like that." She's
actually got more of a Mark Owen voice. She's going, in 2024, right? The mere sight of a European symbol, it'll drive people fucking potty. But I tell you all like me, the Liberals.
I'm not getting involved.
You are involved, Pete. You are involved. You goaded me.
You are complicit.
You goaded me into it.
Doing an impression of my partner.
The crowd, they do hate him. And they hate him in an entirely joyful way. He's the man you love to hate. A thing that was never really said about Rocco. But they jeer him when he comes out, and they start chanting, "What a load of rubbish.
Rubbish.
What a load of rubbish."
I don't know. Was everyone a Cockney back then? It just seemed like 1981. Everyone was a Cockney or from Sheffield, and there was there was nothing in the middle.
It's really true. And they are one of the best crowds that I think you'll ever see in British wrestling, apart from the ones who attacked Spiros Arion. They do so much chanting throughout this match, and it's quite low in the mix, and they're quite hard to sort of decipher. But they do a Jesus Christ, and I couldn't hear the rest of it.
Hammerlock to Rocco. The best place to get this fella, Sammy Lee, on the canvas. Keep him down on the canvas all the time when he's got a chance.
That's such a big melody back in the day. Jesus Christ Superstar, wasn't it?
Huge. Wow. And they do E-I-A-D-O. E-I-A-D-O. They go, let's go, Sammy. Let's go, son. Let's go, Sammy. Let's have another one. Absolutely thrilling crowd. And the other thing that they do, which is really nice, is in between that, when they get the action and the stuff in ring, they all applaud a bit like in Wimbledon. You know, they're all really sort of like educated in what wrestling is, and it's a winning crowd. But yeah, they could not be more southern. They are the most southern crowd you've ever heard in your life.
From the point of view of the back of his neck. Both settling down, taking a bit of a breather after that.
Sammy Lee, of course, is Satoru Siyama, who would go on to international sort of fame as Tiger Mask when he returned from this tour after about sort of 8 months after this. And he was named Sammy Lee after Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee, I had a look into this, and Bruce Lee had been massive in Britain for a few years. And I was like, why? What was the thing that did it? And I thought to myself, well, it can't have been like home video, even though that's the sort of, you'd imagine kung fu movies were a big staple of the early sort of VCR eras. But I do remember like karate and kung fu were huge when I was a kid. Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
And I think it all just dates back to the release of Enter the Dragon, which was 1973. Yeah. And I think it grew as a cult sort of kung fu film. And I think it was one of those ones that when people did go to the cinema and you could go to late night showings and stuff, there'd always be an X film on. And something like Enter the Dragon probably ran. And you'd be able to catch it just at your local flea pit. But yeah, Bruce Lee forums, I had a look, and Bruce Lee, I was like, he was so big in the UK. Did he ever come over to England or something?
Well, was there like a Hong Kong connection there? I don't know. That was where he's from?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he lived in Hong Kong. I think there was a sort of sense of, obviously back then when it was a part of the larger British sort of Commonwealth, wasn't it? I think there was more of a sort of connection. I did try to find out if he'd been in. Someone said Bruce Lee did visit the UK, most likely 1975 or 76, as he was interested in art and also chasing the shadow of ancient times. He also visited.
Very generic.
He also visited Bradford, as he is a very secretive person.
What? It's a chat GPT. It sounds absolutely insane.
The other person, this is on the Bruce Lee forums as well. This isn't just like some generic thing. This is where you go to get your Bruce Lee information. Someone then wrote, his ex-wife is Scottish, so she's approximately English, and she hippie dated a Scottish man, Andre, who is Scottish, who is approximately English. And she had a Scottish daughter, Shannon, with him, approximately English family with him, 3 English, heavy English.
Who is writing this?
Someone called Erin. That's why you think Bruce is at England earlier. He might also have visited England too. She had. And the last one is just someone saying, maybe around 1972 or 73 when I was living in Finsbury Park, North London, he rang my doorbell and I couldn't understand clearly. I thought he said he was looking for Mr. Lee. I told him I had a friend called Lee. He then made some extremely fast movements, which left me shocked, and then walked off. And I was like, is this a joke or just a waste of time? Or did it actually happen?
Did you meet the only Chinese man in town and just sort of put 2 and 2 together? It sounds bad.
The British Bruce Lee Society, people, it was a very big thing. It used to advertise in the back of kung fu magazines. It ran from 1976 until 1981, which is when this matches. So it does look like Sammy Lee basically came along at the time when everyone's gone off Bruce Lee. And it's a very British wrestling timing that to kind of go, here's your gimmick. It's the thing that's been driven into the ground and nobody is interested in it any longer. And a fun match. I mean, a slightly sort of, strange ending, but out comes Sammy and he does a little spinning back kick. Rocco does a sort of flinch. Oh, he ducks back. He goes, oi, at one point as well. Like he's not happy about it. It's already the best thing the crowd have seen all night. I mean, it's just magic.
I mean, so pound for pound, these two are, bearing in mind, like Catweasel was like 4 years ago or something. Like, I can't imagine what people were seeing saying at this, like what they thought of this match. Because Rocco in particular, the thing about Rocco is, if you're out the ring, if you've been tossed out the ring, he's following you out before you hit the mat.
Yeah.
Like, and he's on you, and he's punching you, and the ferocity and the speed, and he's flipping himself upside down on the ring post. There's like, he's just so good. He's so fucking quick. Even just doing hammers, climbing up the top rope and then coming down and hammering someone.
I agree with you,
He's so quick.
Entirely. And obviously, as we watched this, we had the same thought. And my big thought is, isn't being quick underrated when it comes to wrestling?
Massively.
You don't see it very much nowadays that people are like, I'm going to wrestle as fast as I can for the whole of this match.
Getting everything in.
And there's something so funny about this, because I was looking at it and going, they are doing moves, but a lot of it is, it's just being fast. And I can watch that all day long. They are so quick. And it's only when you see something like, I suppose, like Ospreay versus Ricochet sort of things, that people really go, oh, this is incredible. And the moves are great, but half of it is, they're just quick, and no one's quick anymore. And this is so quick. I mean, there's a tombstone in here, and there's a Sammy Lee even gets the first pin after a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, which, I mean, is a remarkable move to be pulling off in 1981. But the thing that struck me is, it was just like, that did not stop. It didn't stop, and it was just magic. Funny end. I mean, obviously, this was, I think, an early Sammy Lee, and they were setting him up for his series, effectively, with Rocco. So Sammy gets the first pin, and then he wins the second fall by DQ when Rocco punches him as he's coming off the turnbuckle. And you did watch that and kind of go, 2 straight loss, sort of like for Rocco, seems a little bit of a surprise, really. I mean, it's surprising they didn't split those falls before the DQ. But obviously, you know, they're going up against a TV time limit. And if you said to someone, you know, you've got 2 minutes that you got for this match, unfortunately, the two of them would go, oh, fuck, that only gives us time to do 1,000 moves. You know? Yeah. But, oh, aren't they wonderful? And then Rocco at the end, he just leans over and he just says, I'm going to break your back next time. And I would be buying a ticket to see them the next time they came round. I mean, just absolutely textbook professional wrestling. Loved it.
WrestleMemus, everyone!
WrestleMemus you! You can join us for the 12 days of WrestleMemus. What do we do?
Well, we do loads of stuff. We do 12 shows. You know, I'll start again. 12 shows, more podcasts, more content than you can ever imagine over the Christmas period.
Just get to our Patreon.
Patreon.com/WrestleMe.
So over in Japan, we have the birth of Tiger Mask. He's absolutely revolutionised the business with his matches against the Dynamite Kid in particular. And what they've decided now is, as he is based on a cartoon, they are going to take one of his nemesis from the cartoon, which is Black Tiger. And here comes Black Tiger, another masked Tiger Man. Although this Tiger has a moustache that you can see.
It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, they've actually done the mask for Rocco to make sure that it didn't cut off his moustache. It goes really high to his nose. Yeah.
Tiger moustache.
So this is the 21st of April, 1982, and this is the very first match between Tiger Mask and Black Tiger. And of course, it does become sort of more celebrated than it was in Britain, just because Britain is such a sort of cut-off wrestling island, really. It took place at the New Japan Refugees Contribution Recruitment Charity Show. And, I mean, what was it like? What was it like seeing Rocco abroad?
It just seems like seeing Mark Hussey in the land of the rising sun. I mean, just the way that it's not as quick as the previous one, so maybe he's sort of changed his style, but it's certainly a bit more. I mean, the classic strong style. It just seems like he's throwing him out of the ring and sort of kicking off. It's a lot heavier, I think.
It is. I do think what's really noticeable is he keeps on touching that mask, and this is his debut in that mask, and I don't think he's got the eyes right. I think he's very much like something. Oh no, it's the side of the mask, and I think that's causing some issues.
At one point, he gets groined on the top rope, and he falls out of the ring, and then Tiger Mask basically follows him by just leaping over the top rope, and he just disappears.
Yeah,
and then the next shot is Tiger Mask has flattened Black Tiger, and then Black Tiger's really putting in some elbows into it, and I'm like, this doesn't seem as friendly or as fun fun anymore. I don't like it.
It's funny because when they go out of the ring, I sort of noticed, I went, oh gosh, what you can see here as well, the New Japan ring is about twice the size of joint promotion stuff. And you're suddenly working in a much bigger ring and in front of much bigger crowds. And I think that sense of you could pretty much like convey what you were doing to every single person in a venue on the back rows in Britain. Suddenly you're like, okay, I've got to do something different here. On the YouTube video of this, there's the original Japanese commentary, and then they've got louder Italian commentary over the top as well.
Yeah, absolutely bizarre little collection.
That was hard work, wasn't it? Hearing those two languages jostle against each other.
Con grande difficoltà, ed è ancora nelle mani di Black Tiger.
Con questa verticale insiste ed è schienato. 2.
No,
Niente,
ha sollevato la spalla
la
destra.
spalla.
Black Tiger protesta con l'arbitro.
What's really interesting is that actually New Japan broke hugely in Italy during the 1980s, and it was because of Tiger Mask. The Tiger Mask cartoon had been shown over there in a dubbed Italian version, and so they just really took to the real Tiger Mask. And New Japan Wrestling played in Italy for years and years and years. I've got a big set of Italian DVDs that came out in the 2000s that were marketed really at a sort of nostalgia market. And what they are is that classic era of sort of 81, 82 to 83 New Japan matches in the best quality you've ever seen them. They are simply delightful.
But again, ruined by having very loud Italian men shouting at the top of them.
That is it. There was a moment where they shut up for just a second, which if you've ever met Italians talking to each other, it doesn't happen all that often. And,
I went back and I was like, I've seen Tiger Mask wrestle, or one of the Tiger Masks wrestle.
Yeah.
I don't know which one. It was in 2014.
Oh,
and
yes.
it was Best of the Super Juniors at Hurricane Hall.
I don't
think
know
which
you saw
one it
Tiger
was.
Mask 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you did.
Now, that one.
Not a fondly remembered Tiger Mask.
Yoshihiro Yamazaki.
I
There he
believe
is.
so. Yeah.
Right,
I think he might have been that
He's
one.
of age, though, isn't he? He's not that much younger than the proper one, is he? Goodness,
no.
wow.
They got through because tigers don't live long.
No,
so
that is true. Actually, that is true.
They would invariably, due to interbreeding, they would develop respiratory problems.
レフェリーのカウントが入っていると危ないぞ。タイガーマスクが引き戻した。レフェリーのカウントが進んでいる。ここでゴングが打ち鳴らされた。両者
本当にね、タイガーマスクがね、最後までね、ちょっとペースを取り戻せない感じでしたがね。
This ends in a double count out. The traditional sort of thing of putting a dream match together and then you sort of go, oh, you have to come back next time, won't you? It was a weird one because when that happened, I was like, oh, I've picked two sort of slightly flat Rocco matches, and that's something I don't want to do. It is funny because watching it, I did have that thing of going, it doesn't quite feel like Rocco. I suppose this is his big Japanese debut. And there's a famous story of Jushin Liger. They decided to bring in Chris Jericho as his version of Black Tiger, if you like, called Super Liger. And he came out in a silver costume like Liger's at a big show. And he could not see through the eye holes. And he had such a bad match, they never used him again. And I think there's a touch of that with Rocco here. You almost sort of want Rocco not to have listened to anyone who had been giving him advice in Japan. And you just want him to just go, I'm just going to, in the way that Dynamite Kid would have done. They'd have said, Dynamite-san, can you do this? And he'd gone, oh, yep. And he'd gone out and he'd gone, fuck off. And then, that, in some ways, that selfishness is what you need. And I get the impression that Rocco was a real pro, a really nice guy, a really warm-hearted bloke who cared. And that is sadly to his detriment. He should have just gone out there and Rocco'd the fuck out of that place. His Japanese career is recorded in a way that his British one isn't, and that is incredible considering the majority of his career took place here. That is what happens, Pete, when you begin squirreling away wrestling history rather than making it accessible and free to all. I do look at what's happened to British wrestling, just apathy, and apathy is the thing that really kills it. And that's the horror. Greed, you can normally get to it. Greed will end up, there's a price to pay, but you can get to it. But apathy is the thing that really kills it. As we say this, Pete, I should imagine there's a warehouse fire somewhere in an ITV depot in Hertfordshire, and all of it's burning burned, and someone will come in tomorrow morning and they'll see 50 years of British wrestling that was never digitized has just melted, and they will turn to the person they're with and they'll go, thank goodness nothing of value was lost.
Years later, I was told by one of the reporters, who I got quite friendly with, Japanese reporter, the biggest TV audience that they'd ever had in Japan up until that day was me and Black Tiger. When it was really promoted well on television, and it was Saturday night live show, and it was the biggest audience that they've ever had on TV in Japan. I never went back to Japan's Rollerball Rocco, but the fans, as they do, got to know. I had Japanese reporters coming from Japan to England to interview me, knowing that I was Black Tiger. Amazing. They used to come a lot. I'm not now and again. I'm talking about all the time. We were there, and they used to report on my matches in England, back in Japan. You know, Black Tiger as Rollerball Rocco wrestled against such and such player in England, and this is the results of it. And amazing.